Captain Velinara pressed her 4 thin fingers against the cold metal of the communication panel. Her blue skin glowed softly in patches along her arms and neck, showing her fear. The glow was getting weaker as time passed. Round her the other. 11 members of her crew moved slowly through the damaged ship. Their home vessel, the Gentle Current, was dying in the empty space between stars. The ship had been beautiful once. Its crystal walls let light pass through in rainbow patterns. The floors were smooth and curved, made for beings who moved like dancers through water. Everything on the ship was built for peace, for learning, for exploring the wonders of space. The Zephyrians who built it had never known real war.
Ow.
Their home world was a place of warm seas and gentle rains. The most dangerous animal there was. Smaller than a house cat, now their ship was broken. Cracks ran through the crystal walls like spider webs. Air hissed out through the holes, carrying away the breath they needed to live. The lights flickered on and off. The smooth floors were covered with pieces of broken equipment. 3 days ago, they'd been studying a strange star system. Dr. Kylewin had been excited about some unusual readings from his instruments. The crew had been happy, working together. To solve the mystery, then the pirates came. The Scarith ships appeared like hungry sharks. They were big and ugly, covered in spikes and weapons. The pirates inside were even uglier. They had rough gray skin and too many teeth. They lived by taking things from others. Weak species like the Zephyrians were easy targets for them. The attack had been quick and brutal. The Scarith did not want to destroy the Gentle Current completely. Destroyed ships were worthless. Instead, they damaged it just enough to trap the crew. They broke the engines so the ship could not move. They cracked the hull so air would leak out slowly. They wanted the Zephyrians to get weak and scared before they came back. When they returned, they would put the crew in chains. Would become slaves, sold to whoever would pay the most. It was a business for the Scarith. They had done it thousands of times before. Captain Velinara knew this. She had heard the stories. Every peaceful species in the galaxy knew about the Scarith and their slave ships. But knowing about danger and facing it were different things. Her people were scientists and artists, not fighters. She looked at her crew. Dr. Kylewin was trying to fix the life support system, but his hands shook as he worked. Engineer Tellera sat in a corner, staring at her broken instruments. The younger crew members huddled together, their skin patterns flickering with panic. The captain turned back to the communication panel. She had been sending the same message. For 2 days now, it was a simple distress call, the kind any space-traveling species would understand. The message told anyone listening that they were in trouble and needed help. It gave their location and said how many crew members were still alive, but who would answer? The Galactic Council had ships that could help, but they were far away. It would take weeks for them to arrive. By then, the Scarith would be back, and the Gentle Current would be empty, except for bodies. Most other species stayed away from this part of space. They called it the Dead Zone because so many ships had vanished here. Pirates ruled this area, and decent people avoided it. The Zephyrians had only come here because their mission was important. They were studying how stars died, hoping to learn something that would help other worlds. Now it looked like they would die. With the stars they came to study, the air was getting thinner. Velinara could feel it in her lungs. Each breath took more effort than the last. Her crew would start fainting soon. After that, they would slip into sleep and never wake up. She pressed the communication button again and spoke into the microphone. Her voice was weak, but she tried to sound calm. "This is Captain Velinara of the research vessel Gentle Current. We are Zephyrians from the inner systems. Our ship is damaged, and we cannot repair it. We have 12 crew members. Our air will run out in less than 2 days. If anyone receives this message, please help us. We have children aboard." The last part was not true, but she hoped it might make someone care more. She sent the message out into the darkness and waited. Space was so big and empty, chances that anyone would hear them were tiny. Dr. Kylewin looked up from his work. "Captain, the oxygen recycler is completely broken. I cannot fix it with what we have." She nodded. She had expected this news. "How long do we have?" 18 hours. Maybe 20 if we rest and breathe slowly. Around the ship, her crew heard this. Some started to cry. Others just sat down heavily, giving up hope. Tellera began to pray in the old language of their people. Velinara felt the weight of command on her shoulders. These people trusted her. To keep them safe, she had led them into this danger, and now she could not lead them out. The thought made her chest hurt worse than the thin air. She was about to turn off the communication system to save power when something happened. A small light flashed on the panel. Someone had sent a message back. Her hands trembled as she opened the signal. The words that came through were in a language she had never heard before. The sounds were harsh and strange, full of hard consonants and short vowels. But her ship's computer began to translate the message automatically. Zephyrian vessel, this is the Earth ship Night's Edge. We have received your distress call. We are moving to your position. Do not give up hope. Help is coming. Velinara stared at the message. Earth ship. She had never heard of a species called humans or a world called Earth. The computer's files had no information about them either. But someone was coming. Someone had heard their call for help. She played the message for her crew. Hope began to return to their faces, but Dr. Kylewin looked worried. Captain, we know nothing about these humans. What if they are worse than thee? Scareth? It was a good question. In their fear, they might be calling down something even more dangerous than pirates. But what choice did they have? We will take that chance, Doctor. It is better than waiting here to die. She sent a message back to the Earth ship, giving them more details about their damage and position. Then she gathered her crew together. I do not know who these humans are, she told them, but they heard us calling for help, and they are coming. We must have faith that any species willing to risk danger for strangers cannot be completely evil. Yes. Her crew settled down to wait. Velinara looked out through the cracked crystal walls at the stars. Somewhere out there, unknown beings in an unknown ship were racing through space to save them. She wondered what they looked like, these humans. She wondered if they were peaceful like her people, or dangerous like the Scareth. Most of all, she wondered if they would arrive before the air ran out, or before the pirates returned in the darkness. Of space, time moved slowly. Each minute felt like an hour. Each hour felt like a day. But for the first time since the attack, Captain Velinara felt something other than despair. She felt hope. Someone was coming. Someone had answered their cry. For help, she just hoped they would arrive in time. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Night's Edge, staring at the star map on his screen. The small red dot showed where the alien ship was waiting. His tactical officer, Amy Carter, sat beside him looking through sensor readings. Sir, the alien vessel is badly damaged, Amy said. Hull breaches in 3 sections. Their power is failing. I'm reading 12 life signs, but they're getting weaker. Jake nodded. He was a tall man with dark hair and serious eyes. He had been in the Earth fleet for 15 years, but he had never faced a situation like this. His ship was supposed to be on a secret mission, studying alien movements in this part of space. Making contact with unknown species was not part of the plan. The Night's Edge was built for hiding and watching. It was painted black and covered with special materials that bent light around it. Other ships could barely see it on their sensors. The crew of 20 had been chosen carefully. They were all experts at staying hidden and gathering information, but now they faced a choice that would change everything. Earth fleet rules said they should contact headquarters before talking to any new alien species. There were supposed to be months of planning and preparation. Diplomats should meet first, not soldiers. The problem was simple. The aliens would be dead long before any diplomats could arrive. Commander Lisa Park looked up from her computer station. She was the ship's expert on alien cultures and languages. Her job was to figure out how to talk to species they met. Now, she was working harder than she ever had before. I've been studying their language patterns, Lisa said. The Zephyrians seem to use musical tones to show emotion. Their grammar is complex, but logical. I think I can put together a basic translation program in a few hours. Dr. Alex Thompson, the ship's doctor, was reading medical data about the aliens. Their biology is fascinating, he said. Breathe oxygen like us, but their blood is blue instead of red. Their skin seems to change color based on their feelings. Right now, all of them are showing patterns that suggest fear and despair. Jake made his decision. We're going to help them. Amy looked surprised. Sir, that's against orders. We're supposed to avoid contact with unknown species. Those orders were written by people sitting safely on Earth, Jake said. They didn't think about situations like this. I won't let innocent beings die because of paperwork. Chief Engineer Carlos Rodriguez was already working on the problem of how to connect their ship to the alien vessel. The two ships were built completely differently. Human ships were made of steel and composite materials, designed to survive in dangerous situations. The alien ship looked like it was made of crystal and light metals, built for peaceful exploration. I can modify our docking tube, Carlos said. It won't be pretty, but it should work. Give me 2 hours. Master Sergeant Kelly Brooks was preparing her Marines for the rescue mission. Kelly was a small woman, but she was one of the toughest soldiers Jake had ever met. Her squad of 6 Marines was the best Earth fleet had to offer. We don't know what we're walking into, Kelly told her team. These aliens might be exactly what they seem, or this could be a trap. Stay alert. But remember, we're here to help, not to fight. The Night's Edge moved through space like a shadow. Its engines made almost no noise. Its hull absorbed radar and heat signatures. To anyone watching, it would look like empty space was moving toward the alien ship. As they got closer, you could see the damage to the Zephyrian vessel. The crystal hull was cracked in many places. Atmosphere was leaking out in thin streams that froze instantly in the cold of space. The ship's lights flickered weakly. Lisa had finished her translation program. It was rough and would make mistakes, but it was good enough for basic communication. Jake opened a channel to the alien ship, Zephyrian vessel. This is Commander Morrison of the Earth ship Night's Edge. We are here to help you. Please respond. The answer came quickly. The alien. The voice was musical and strange, but the computer translated it into English. Commander Morrison, this is Captain Velanara. We are so grateful you came. Our ship is dying, and we cannot repair it. We understand, Captain. We're going to connect our ships together so we can help you. Please prepare your crew. Jake could hear the relief in the alien captain's voice, even through the translation. We will be ready, Commander. Thank you for answering our call. Carlos finished modifying the docking system. It looked like a metal tube, with flexible joints that could adjust to fit the alien ship's unusual shape. It's not standard equipment, he said, but it should hold pressure. Dr. Thompson prepared the medical bay for alien patients. He had no idea what Zephyrian biology would need, so he gathered everything he could think of. Oxygen tanks, medical, scanners, emergency supplies. He hoped it would be enough. The docking procedure took an hour. The Night's Edge had to match the alien ship's slow tumble through space. Carlos guided the docking tube into position with careful precision. When the connection was made, both crews held their breath as the seals engaged. Docking successful, Carlos reported. We have a solid connection and good atmosphere seal. Jake suited up in full environmental gear. He would be the first human to meet an alien species face to face. Dr. Thompson and 2 Marines, Pete Williams and Maria Santos, went with him. They carried medical supplies and translation equipment. The airlock cycled, and they stepped into the alien ship. The first thing Jake noticed was how different everything looked.
Ow.
The walls curved in gentle arcs. The lights were soft and colorful. Everything seemed designed by beings who thought of space travel as an art form rather than a practical necessity. The second thing he noticed was how fragile everything seemed. The walls were thin. The equipment looked delicate. These beings had never expected their ship to be attacked. Captain Velanara was waiting for them in the main corridor. She was shorter than Jake expected, about 5 feet tall. Her skin was pale, blue, and seemed to glow softly from within. Her eyes were large and dark. She moved with a grace that reminded Jake of a dancer. Commander Morrison, she said through the translation device. I am Captain Velanara. Welcome to our ship, though I wish the circumstances were better. Jake removed his helmet, showing his face as a sign of trust. Captain, We're here to help. My medical officer needs to check your crew, and my engineer needs to assess your ship's damage. Velinara's skin patterns shifted to what Jake's computer said meant surprise. You breathe the same air we do, she said. What a fortunate coincidence. Dr. Thompson was already examining the nearest Zephyrian crew member. The alien was conscious but weak from breathing thin air for days. They're suffering from oxygen deprivation, Thompson told Jake. Gosh. But they should recover quickly in a better atmosphere. As Jake looked around the damaged ship, he began to understand what kind of species the Zephyrians were. Everything he saw spoke of peace and curiosity. Their scientific instruments were more advanced than anything Earth had, but they had no weapons at all. Their ship was designed for exploration and discovery, not survival in hostile territory. These beings had never hurt anyone. They had been attacked simply because they were weak and easy targets. The thought made Jake angry. Captain Velinara, he said, we need to move your crew to our ship while we make repairs. Your life support system is failing. Of course, she said. We trust you completely, Commander. You have already shown us more kindness than we dared hope for. As the rescue operation began, Jake made another decision that would change Galactic history. He activated his ship's long-range communicator and sent a message to Earth Fleet Command. This is the Night's Edge reporting first contact with alien species. Species appears peaceful and benevolent. Request immediate diplomatic support. We are not hiding anymore. The age of human secrecy in space was over. From now on, the galaxy would know that Earth's children had arrived, and they did not abandon those who cried for help. The alarm on Jake Morson's ship rang softly through the corridors. Amy Carter looked up from her sensor station with worry in her eyes. Commander, I'm picking up 3 large ships approaching our position. We'll be here in about 6 hours, she said. The computer identifies them as Scarith vessels. Ow. Jake felt his stomach tighten. The pirates were coming back for their prizes. He looked at the main screen, which showed the damaged Zephyrian ship still connected to theirs. Dr. Thompson and his team were still moving the alien crew members to safety. They needed more time. Captain Velinara floated nearby in the human ship's medical bay. The artificial gravity was set lower to make her more comfortable. Her skin patterns were much brighter now that she could breathe properly. Commander, she said through the translator, you should leave us and save yourselves. The Scariths have 3 warships. Your vessel is small. Jake shook his head. We don't abandon people, Captain. That's not how humans work. But Velinara was right about one thing. The Scarith ships were much larger than the Night's Edge. Each one carried hundreds of pirates and enough weapons to destroy a small moon. In a straight fight, the human ship would be crushed in minutes. Master Sergeant Kelly Brooks came to the bridge. Her face was calm, but Jake could see the dangerous look in her eyes that meant she was planning something violent. Sir, request permission to prepare a warm welcome for our pirate friends, she said. What do you have in mind, Sergeant? Kelly smiled. It was not a nice smile. The Scarith think they're hunting helpless prey. Time to show them what happens? When the prey fights back. Jake nodded. Do it. Ami. Take us into the asteroid field. Carlos. I need every system running at peak efficiency. The Night's Edge disconnected from the Zephyrian ship and moved deeper into the nearby asteroid field. The rocks floating in space were perfect for hiding. Some were as big as buildings, others as small as cars. The human ship slipped between them like a fish swimming through coral. Carlos Rodriguez worked frantically in the engine room. I'm giving you everything I've got, Commander. Stealth systems are at maximum. They won't see us until we want them to. Dr. Thompson finished moving the last Zephyrian to safety. All 12 aliens were now aboard the human ship, breathing clean air and receiving medical treatment. They watched the humans prepare for battle with amazement and fear. I don't understand, Dr. Kylewin said to Lisa Park. Why are you risking your lives for us? We have nothing to offer you in return. Lisa looked at the alien scientist with kind eyes because it's the right thing to do. Humans protect those who cannot protect themselves. Meanwhile, Kelly Brooks and her Marines were preparing their trap. They used small explosive charges to carefully break apart several asteroids. The rocks would drift in specific directions, creating a maze that would force enemy ships to move exactly where the humans wanted them. Pete Williams, one of Kelly's Marines, planted charges on a large asteroid. Sarge, these pirates are going to get the surprise of their lives. That's the idea, Williams. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for those aliens who never hurt anyone. The Scarith ships arrived exactly when Amy had predicted. Captain Vexstar of the flagship Blood Harvester was in a bad mood. His crew had been looking forward to easy money from selling Zephyrian slaves. Now, they found empty space where the research vessel should have been. Vexstar was a large alien with gray skin covered in scars. His people had evolved from predators who hunted in packs. They were strong and mean, but they were not smart fighters. They had spent so many years bullying weak species that they had forgotten how to fight enemies who fought back. "Where's the prey ship?" Vexstar growled at his sensor operator. "Find it immediately. Dare." "We detect debris in the asteroid field." "The research vessel may have been destroyed by collision," Vexstar snarled. "Destroyed ships made no profit. Search every rock. If there are survivors, I want them found." The 3 Scarith ships spread out and began searching the asteroid field. Their sensors were powerful but crude. They could find large objects easily, but small ones could hide from them. The Night's Edge waited in the shadow of a large asteroid, completely invisible. Jake watched the enemy ships on his screen. They're moving into position. "Kelly, are you ready?" "All charges placed and ready to detonate, sir." "Just give the word." Jake waited until all 3 Scarith ships were exactly where he wanted them. The pirates were focused on searching for wreckage. They were not watching for attacks. Now Kelly pressed the detonator. 20 asteroids exploded at the same time. The blasts were carefully timed and positioned to force the Scarith ships into a triangle formation with their backs to each other, Captain. Vexstar was thrown from his command chair as his ship shook from the explosions. "What was that? Are we under attack?" Before his crew could answer, the Night's Edge appeared from behind a cloud of asteroid debris. It moved like a hunting animal, fast and silent. Its weapons were already charging. The human ship was much smaller than the Scarith vessels, but it had been built by a species that understood war. Every weapon was designed for maximum damage. Every system had backups. Every crew member knew exactly what to do. Amy Carter locked the targeting system onto the nearest Scarith ship. Target acquired, all weapons ready. Fire the Night's Edge. Unleashed everything it had. Missiles streaked through space, trailing fire. Energy beams cut through the pirate ship's armor like knives through paper. The human weapons were not just powerful, they were precise. Every shot hit exactly where it would do the most damage. The first Scarith ship exploded in a ball of flame and metal. The second ship tried to turn and fight back, but human missiles were already hitting its engines. Within minutes, it too was destroyed, Captain Vexstar realized. He was fighting something completely different from the weak prey his people usually hunted. This small ship fought like a professional killer. Every move was calculated. Every attack was deadly. Retreat. "Ships retreat," he screamed, but it was too late for one of his ships. The Night's Edge had positioned itself perfectly. As the 3rd Scarith vessel tried to escape, it flew directly into another minefield that Kelly had prepared. The explosion lit up the asteroid field. Like a new sun, only Vexstar's flagship survived, and it was badly damaged. Smoke poured from holes in its hull. Half of its weapons were destroyed. Its engines barely worked. Jake opened a communication channel to the fleeing pirate ship. When he spoke, his voice was calm and cold. "Scarith vessel. This is Commander Morrison of the Earth ship Night's Edge. You attacked innocent researchers who never hurt anyone. You came here to steal their freedom and their lives."
8.
On the pirate ship, Vexstar listened in shock. He had never heard of Earth or humans before. "I want you to remember this day," Jake continued. "Remember that humans are now in this part of space. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. If you ever attack peaceful species again, we will find you. And next time, we will not let you run away." The damaged Scarith ship limped into hyperspace. fleeing as fast as its broken engines could carry it. The battle was over in 12 minutes. Kelly Brooks reported to the bridge. All charges detonated successfully. No human casualties. The asteroid field is clear of hostiles. Dr. Thompson came to tell Jake about the Zephyrians. The aliens are amazed, Commander. They've never seen anything like what we just did. They want to know how we learned to fight so well. Jake looked out at the debris from the destroyed pirate ships floating among the asteroids. He thought about Earth, where humans had learned to fight by fighting each other for thousands of years. They had learned strategy from endless wars. They had learned courage from facing impossible odds. Tell them we learned because we had to, he said. Where we come from, everything wants to kill everything else. We became good fighters because the weak ones didn't survive. The Zephyrians would learn much about humans in the days to come. But the most important lesson was already clear. When peaceful beings cried for help, humans answered. And when humans answered, predators learned to fear the darkness. The medical bay of the Night's Edge was quiet except for the soft hum of life. Support systems. Dr. Alex Thompson checked on his Zephyrian patients one more time. All 12 aliens were recovering well from their ordeal. Their blue skin glowed, brighter now, and their breathing was steady. Captain Velinara sat up slowly on her medical bed. The artificial gravity was still set low for her comfort, making her movements seem like floating underwater. She watched Dr. Thompson work with instruments she did not recognize. Dr. Thompson, she said through the translator device, "May I ask you something?" Alex looked up from his medical scanner. "Of course, Captain. What would you like to know? Your people fought those pirates like they had done it 1,000 times before. But this was first contact between our species. How did you know exactly what to do?" The question made Alex pause. He had been wondering when the aliens would ask about human nature. The truth was complicated, and perhaps frightening to peaceful. Beings like the Zephyrians, Commander Lisa Park entered the medical bay. She had been studying recordings of the Zephyrian language and culture, trying to understand more about their society. What she had learned amazed her. "Captain Velinara," Lisa said, "we've been learning about your people too. Your planet has. No large predators. Your species has never fought wars. You've lived in peace for your entire history." Velinara's skin patterns shifted to show confusion. "Yes, that is correct. Why would we fight wars? There is enough of everything for everyone on our world. Fighting would only destroy what we have built." Dr. Kyle Wynn, the Zephyrian scientist, floated over to join the conversation. His large dark eyes were full of curiosity. "We are very interested in your species, humans. Your technology is impressive, but it is your behavior that puzzles us. You risked your lives for strangers. You fought trained warriors and won easily. Is this possible?" Lisa and Alex exchanged glances. Jake Morrison had given them permission to share information about Earth and humanity. The aliens deserved to know the truth about their rescuers. "The answer is complicated," Lisa said. "Would you like to know about our homeworld?" Both Zephyrians nodded eagerly. Lisa activated a holographic display showing Earth from space. The planet appeared as a blue and green ball, covered with swirling white clouds. "This is Earth," Lisa said. "It looks peaceful from here, but it is one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy." The hologram zoomed in to show Earth's surface. Massive storms swept across continents. Volcanoes spewed lava and ash. Earthquakes split the ground open. Hurricanes the size of small countries destroyed everything in their path. Dr. Kyle Wynn's skin patterns showed shock. "Your planet is trying to kill you." "Every day," Alex said with a small smile. "Our world has storms that can level entire cities. The ground shakes and splits open without warning. Mountains explode and cover the sky with poison ash. The weather changes from burning hot to freezing cold. But that is only the beginning," Lisa continued. "The life forms on Earth are just as dangerous as the planet itself." The hologram showed images of Earth's animals: lions hunting in packs, sharks with rows of razor teeth, bears that could crush bones with their claws, snakes with poison that could kill in minutes. Velinara watched in horror as the display showed. Predator after predator. "Everything on your world is designed to kill." "Not everything," Lisa said, "but most things. Yes. Humans are not the strongest or fastest creatures on Earth. We are not the largest or most heavily armed.
Oh.
But we are the smartest. We learn to survive by working together and thinking ahead. Dr. Thompson added more images to the display. These showed human history. Cave paintings of mammoth hunts, ancient armies fighting with spears and swords, medieval knights in armor, modern soldiers with advanced weapons. We have been fighting for our entire existence, Alex said. Against animals that wanted to eat us, against each other for resources and territory. Every generation has faced new threats and new challenges. Dr. Kyle Wynn studied the images carefully. His scientific mind was trying to understand how such a violent world could produce intelligent life. This explains your fighting skills, but not your willingness to help strangers. Most predator species are selfish. Lisa smiled. That's what makes humans different. We learn that cooperation is the key to survival. A human alone dies quickly on Earth, but humans working together can survive anything. Jake Morrison entered the medical bay to check on his guests. The Zephyrians looked at him with new understanding. This calm, kind human was actually a product of one of the most dangerous worlds in the galaxy. Commander Morrison Velinara said, "We have been learning about your home world." "It sounds terrifying," Jake nodded. "Earth is not an easy place to live, but it made us strong. It taught us to protect each other." "I have a question," Dr. Kyleman said. "If your world is so dangerous, why did you help us? We are not your species. We cannot help you survive on Earth." The question touched on something deep in human nature. Jake thought carefully about how to explain it. On Earth, we have a saying, "The strong protect the weak." It means that those who have power should use it to help those who don't. You were in danger, and we had the power to help. That made it our responsibility. Velinara's skin patterns shifted through several colors as she processed this information. "So you risk your lives for strangers because your dangerous world taught you to work together." "Exactly," Jake said. "We learned that when good people do nothing, evil people win. The Scarith were evil. You were good. The choice was simple." Lisa brought up more information on her display. "Captain, humans classify planets by how dangerous they are to live on. Most worlds where intelligent life develops are Class 3, or Class 3, or Class 3. 4. Your world is Class 2. Earth is Class 12. "What does that mean?" Dr. Kylowen asked. "It means Earth is what we call a death world," Alex explained. "Everything about it tries to kill the life that lives there. Very few planets are more dangerous. Very few species survive to develop intelligence on worlds like ours." The Zephyrians were quiet for a long time as they absorbed this information. Finally, Velinara spoke. "This explains much about your behavior. You think like survivors because you are survivors. You fight like warriors because you have always been warriors. But we're not just warriors," Jake said. "We're also scientists, artists, and dreamers. Earth taught us to fight, but it also taught us to appreciate beauty and knowledge. We fight to protect those things." Dr. Kylewen was studying the humans with intense scientific curiosity. "Commander, may I ask how many other species you have met?" "You're the first," Jake admitted. "This is humanity's first contact with alien life." The revelation shocked both Zephyrians. Velinara's skin flashed bright yellow. "We are your first contact with another species, and you risked everything to save us. Like I said, the choice was simple. You needed help." Dr. Thompson checked his medical readings again. "You should rest now. Your bodies are still recovering from the oxygen deprivation." As the Zephyrians settled back into their beds, they talked quietly between themselves. They were beginning to understand that they had been saved by something remarkable. Humans were predators who chose to be protectors. They were warriors who fought for peace. They were survivors who risked everything for strangers. Later, in the ship's conference room, Jake met with his senior officers to discuss what would happen next. "The galaxy is going to learn about us eventually," Amy Carter said. "After today, that's certain. The question is how we want them to learn," Lisa added. "Do we want to be known as warriors or as protectors?" Jake looked at the display, showing the rescued Zephyrians sleeping peacefully in the medical bay. Both, he said, will be warriors when we have to be, and protectors when we choose to be. The galaxy will learn that humans keep their promises. In the depths of space, word of the battle was already spreading. The surviving Scarith ship had reached a pirate station and told their story. Unknown aliens from a death world had appeared from nowhere and destroyed 3 warships in minutes. The galaxy was about to discover that Earth's children had arrived. And they were everything the peaceful species had been hoping for, and everything the predators had been dreading. 3 weeks after the rescue, the Night's Edge arrived at Zephyros Prime, the beautiful homeworld of the Zephyrians. Captain Velinara stood beside Jake Morrison on the bridge as they watched the planet grow larger on the main screen. Zephyros Prime was nothing like Earth. Gentle blue oceans covered most of the surface. The continents were green and peaceful, with no signs of the violent weather that shaped human evolution. Cities floated on the water like giant flowers, their crystal spires reaching toward the sky. "It's beautiful," Jake said honestly. "People built something amazing here." Velinara's skin patterns glowed with pride and sadness. "We have lived in peace for thousands of years. But now we know how dangerous the galaxy really is. Scarith could have destroyed everything we built." Ships from the Zephyrian fleet came out to meet them. The alien vessels were elegant and graceful, clearly designed by beings who saw space travel as art rather than war. They moved around the Night's Edge like curious fish. Their crews amazed by the strange human ship. Dr. Kyle Wynn floated beside them, watching his homeworld through. "The viewing port? Commander Morrison, my people will want to thank you properly. You have given us our lives back." "You don't owe us anything," Jake replied. "We did what any decent people would do." But the Zephyrian scientist shook his head. "You did what your people would do. Both species in the galaxy would have ignored our distress call. The Scarith count on that indifference." As they landed at the capital city's spaceport, crowds of Zephyrians gathered to see the humans who had saved their research team. The aliens moved like dancers through the crystal corridors of their buildings. Everything about their society spoke of gentleness and cooperation. The planetary council met in a large dome filled with soft light and the sound of flowing water. Lest of elderly Zephyrians listened as Captain Velinara told the story of their rescue. Their skin patterns shifted through many colors as they heard about the battle with the Scarith pirates. Elder Silmora, the oldest member of the council, spoke for all of them. "Humans of Earth, your actions have saved not just 12 lives, but our faith in the possibility of goodness in the galaxy. How can we repay such a gift?" Jake stood before the council in his dress uniform. Behind him stood his senior officers, Amy Carter, Lisa Park, Alex Thompson, Carlos Rodriguez, and Kelly Brooks. Each represented a different aspect of human capability.
Honored.
"Elder, we ask for nothing except friendship. But we hope our 2 peoples can learn from each other." "What can we learn from you?" asked Elder Vestal, a Zephyrian who specialized in philosophy. "You are warriors from a death world. You're scientists from a garden world." Lisa Park stepped forward. "You can learn to protect yourselves. You can learn to build beautiful things like your cities. Earth made us strong, but strength without. Wisdom is dangerous. Your people have wisdom we need," Dr. Thompson added. "Your medical knowledge is centuries ahead of ours. Your understanding of peaceful cooperation could help humanity grow beyond our violent past." But it was Kelly Brooks who said something that surprised everyone. The tough Marine sergeant looked at the crystal city around them and spoke softly. "You've built something here that humans dream about? A world without war, without fear, without hatred. We want to protect that. It's worth protecting." The council was quiet for a long moment. Finally, Elder Silmora spoke again. "We accept your friendship, humans of Earth, but we must ask you something important. Are there others like the Scarith? Other predators who hunt peaceful species?" Jake nodded grimly. "According to our intelligence, yes. The Scarith Dominion controls dozens of star systems through fear and slavery. There are other criminal organizations, other species that prey on the weak. Then the galaxy needs protectors," Elder Vestal said. "We have always believed that reasoning and diplomacy could solve any problem. But the Scarith do not listen to reason. Amy Carter activated a holographic display showing the local star systems. Red markers showed known pirate bases and slave routes. Yellow markers showed peaceful species that were often attacked. Blue markers showed the few military forces trying to maintain order. The Galactic Council has some patrol ships, Amy explained, but they're spread too thin. Pirates like the Scarith operate in the spaces between civilized systems. They hit targets and disappear before help can arrive. Elder Silmora studied the map with growing concern. How many peaceful species have been enslaved while we debated and discussed in our comfortable council chambers? Before anyone could answer, alarms began ringing throughout the city. A Zephyrian communication officer rushed into the council chamber. Elders, we're receiving distress calls from 3 different systems. Scarith raiders are attacking research stations and colony ships. Jake felt his jaw tighten. The pirates were striking back, trying to make up for their losses by hitting easier targets. He turned to the council. Honored elders, the Night's Edge can respond to one of those distress calls. But we can't be everywhere at once. Elder Silmora made a decision that would change galactic history. Commander Morrison, on behalf of the Zephyrian people, I formally request that Earth establish a military presence in this region of space. We will provide bases, supplies, and support for human forces dedicated to protecting peaceful species. The offer was more than Jake had dared hope for. A human base in alien space would give Earth fleet the ability to project power across the galaxy. But it also meant taking responsibility for the safety of dozens of species. I'll need to contact Earth for authorization, Jake said. But I can tell you that humanity accepts the responsibility you're offering us. 2 days later, the heavy cruiser Indomitable arrived at Zephyros Prime, carrying Ambassador Chenwei and a full diplomatic team. The ship was 3 times larger than the Night's Edge and bristled with weapons. Its arrival sent a clear message. To anyone watching, humanity was here to stay. Ambassador Chen was a small woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had spent 30 years in Earth's diplomatic corps. But she had never negotiated humanity's first alliance with an alien species. The Earth government has authorized me to accept the Zephyrian offer, she told the Planetary Council. In return, we pledge that human forces will protect all peaceful species in this region from predators and slavers. The formal alliance was signed in a ceremony broadcast across both worlds. Humans and Zephyrians worked together to draft the treaty that would become the foundation for galactic civilization's defense against chaos. Within a month, human ships began arriving at Zephyros Prime. The base they built was unlike anything. In the galaxy, it combined human military efficiency with Zephyrian aesthetic beauty. Crystal towers housed sensor arrays that could detect threats across dozens of star systems. Underground bunkers protected supplies and civilians during attacks. But the most important part of the base was the communication center. From there, human operators monitored distress calls from across the galaxy. When peaceful species cried for help, humans answered. Admiral Jake Morrison, promoted after his successful first contact mission, stood in the base's command center, watching reports flow in from across known space. Criminal organizations were learning that the galaxy had changed. Ships that attacked peaceful vessels found themselves facing human warships that appeared from nowhere and fought with deadly precision. Captain Velinara, now serving as the first Zephyrian ambassador to Earth, often visited the command center. She watched humans coordinate rescue missions with the same efficiency they had shown in battle. You have kept your promise, she told Jake one evening, as they watched the sunset paint Zephyros Prime's oceans purple and gold. The galaxy is safer, because humans chose to protect rather than conquer. Jake nodded, thinking about the dozens of species that now lived without fear because human ships patrolled the dark spaces between stars. We learned something important from your people, Ambassador. Strength isn't about how hard you can hit. It's about what you choose to protect. In the depths of space, other distress signals continued to pulse through the darkness. But now they carried hope as well as desperation. The galaxy knew that somewhere in the shadows, human ships waited and watched. When the innocent called for help, Deathworld warriors would materialize from the void to answer.